I often use the word laws of nature or laws of universe, but someone asked me what actually does that mean. So as I walked out for first walk, but when I went outside the door, I saw the butterfly. Now here is one example of miracles of the universe, which is a manifestation of what the law of the universe can do. It's a monarch butterfly, and every time I see the butterfly, I think, how can they do that? Just 2 or 4 floppy things and the tiny body and the eyes here and there, and they go up and down, be able to maneuver and land on the flower, do this, do that, whatever. Actually, I have the video I took in New Zealand because I was fascinated, so I wanted to capture the flying pattern of the butterfly, jumping around, dancing around. So to me, it's not the law of the universe, it's just the manifestation of the law of the universe. And I talk the law of the universe often about me and internally how the law of universe can manifest in relation to how I use my mind. Those are the 2 universes I talked about. But when I'm not in 2 universes and just walking out the door and the butterfly, it's like I'm a little kid. And the other day I saw this 1.5-year-old kid, quiet, observing everything. I could feel that his mind is pure, empty, and absorbing everything as is. And I think he's got the sense of this awakening, even though he doesn't realize it, that he is being with the law of the universe, observing the law of the universe manifesting in different forms, not just in nature, but in human behavior, so that his brain gets developed and start to lose the sense of being a child and become adult. So once you get to the age 10, 15, whatever, then you forget about what had happened in early age, and the playfulness is replaced by what to do, who to talk to, use the iPhone, whatever, watch the TV, and listen to parents, friends, whatever is happening. And then the mind takes over after he developed how to use the words and the logic and good and bad, right and wrong, beautiful, ugly, all of that. So we start to divide the world so that the person can live well. That might make sense in that mind universe. But as soon as you get driven into it, you lose the source of who you are. When you are empty-minded, clear, pure, curious, creative, and be with the law of nature because he was. But that sense is going deeper into our unconscious part, replaced or overtaken by the mind. What to eat, what happened yesterday, should have, could have, what should I do tomorrow, what's the dinner, or where is the vacation, why this happened, would this happen, and all that overtake the pure mind. So back to the butterfly story. One thing I can think about is these days when I go for a walk, I stop so many times, maybe 5 times. There's a certain area I touch the leaves, the tree trunk, and often in the middle of the road, not in the middle of the pavement, I see the branches, the leaves, and watch them. Maybe 10 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes, I don't know how long. But I can see that That's amazing that these guys doing. And the other thought then I thought about it is the ecosystem. It's not just one plant, one leaf, or butterfly, but they're all related to each other. And I was thinking today, there's a palm tree root here, and there's some of the more dust or dirt, and the cactus or leaves of this and that kind. And I could feel that they communicate each other. And obviously, if you think about like a fungus, that's the easy one. And people may know more about it, but if there's a root system underground, there's a connection. I don't know what is that to do with the microorganism or the water content or the soil composition, but they have the intelligence, just like a network of neurons, but within or underground the earth, that they have this ecosystem, as much as underground, above ground too. And there's a tree of A and B and C. I know that they connect to each other because of the amount of the consumption of the water or air, whatever the case may be, or how the wind is blowing in certain direction on the angle of the sun. All of that affect how each plant may evolve and grow. So they have the intelligence. And that's that kind of intelligence, or you can call it wisdom, or even compassion, because they have this ecosystem of helping each other. And one plant or one fungus or one amoeba, whatever, I don't know, would have some kind of a colony, like ants or some distribution within the ecosystem. And that depends upon what they have surrounding them. And that develops some ecosystem. I remember visiting the desert, Joshua Tree National Park. And I studied, what the depth of the roots and how they relate to each other and how long they live and how they depend on each other. Even certain amount of CO2 are captured by those plants. And when something happens, those CO2 comes out. So the CO2 would affect the amount of the CO2 in the air, temperature, climate change would happen. So everything is connected. So if you think about the beginning of the Earth, from the atoms and molecules to start develop some kind of a virus or amoeba or whatever primitive beings, and then come to the higher level, and eventually we are born. That's amazing. That's the miracle. And why don't we call that as a form of the wisdom and compassion in display? We just don't think like that, but I feel it. One other thing I do, every now and then, I did a little bit today, but it didn't work well as much as I did in other places, was that when I see some plant more appealing, today was a little bit more of a not so interesting, lots of cactus, and it's not easy to detect that. But when the situation is flourishing of certain vegetables or the trees and branches, I feel they're happy, and I feel like touching them and feeling them, relating to them. And one of the way I do, and I noticed this skill that I've got, is that with my palm just going as I walk, not touching the plant, but maybe foot away or so, just going across, like a cruising with a flying touch kind of thing. And then I feel the sensation of the, people call it aura. I'm not sure what that is, but there's some kind of a force coming out of the plant. And some are more prickly and some are more gentle. They have their own character, and I could feel it. I don't know whether this is related to my awakening, but as much as when you go through experience like awakening, you feel the change, or that you feel like what's going on internal to your body. sometimes not so clear, but when the mind is calm and quiet especially, you feel the vibration and as if they're talking, communicating with a silent word. So those are the symptoms I like to say that is related to the laws of universe, of the living sentient beings. And that's the magic, and we are the magic of whatever is happening. And as a part of the magic, could be that compassion, wisdom, insight, ideas, all of that. But as a part of the magic, we have the suffering and the joy as much as enlightenment. From the days of the young child, curious, bright, wonderful, pure mind, into corrupt mind, disturbance, and living in the society, twisted, getting butt kicked or whatever happened, and occasional joy and going down the tube. So we better awaken to the whole being of we are relating to possibly the laws of the universe, the laws of nature, because we are one with it, and we lose that because of the busy mind. And I think it's sad, and those who are enlightened, we call it awakened, tend to have the sense, direct experience of what that power, energy, the wisdom and compassion of the laws of the universe, of laws of nature. And to me that's awakening, a form of awakening, and make our life richer, interesting, fun, and much more. That's what I think. So I use the word melting into the nature, that's one expression, but there are those everywhere and within us. And when our mind is calm and quiet still, and not busy with this good and bad, right and wrong, all of that, you become like an animal or a little kid. But you still have the brain. That's the point I mentioned sometimes. Eat the apple, forbidden apple again, and be a kid, and know good and bad, but perform with or without losing the touch of being with the nature and the law of nature manifesting within us. It's like a magic story, and I think it is magic. What do you think? Thank you.